Hey everybody! I think I just realized I forgot to put my headset in. Hold on. Give me a second to do this. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me better with my headset on. So, hi, I'm Chastity. I've seen so many of you in the group, and so welcome everybody. It's really been so exciting to see this collaborative effort come together and see so many people interested in learning and expanding as we go along. As you can see, there are so many amazing collaborators, so many gifted healers and people. And I'm coming on because there's been a lot of shifting. Hi, guys. There's been a lot of shifting in the field for quite some time now. And my guides kind of encouraged me to do a live. I'm not super excited about being on camera, so it makes me a little bit nervous. But I said, okay, well, I guess we'll just give it a shot. And I'll share a little bit of an experience with you all. I guess I'll share just a little brief snippet of me. I'm a Lyran starseed. Spend a lot of time in Sirius as well. And lately I've actually really been embodying the Lyran aspects of myself and working from this perspective. And one of the things I'm really working on is my ninth dimensional integration and bringing that more into alignment. It's part of my universal streams, so part of my main streams that come in. But it's one of the things that I'm really working on and embodying. And so my mission really dives pretty deep into why we're here. Hello, Ariane. I always say these names not how they're supposed to be pronounced, so I apologize. So part of my mission has really been to it's just so crazy. I'm actually, I don't know a lot about astrology, and I don't know anything about numbers either, but what I do know is that polarity and numbers and astrology are really amazing maps for who we are. And hi, Shelley. And I am a master builder, so my birthday is the 22nd. It's May 22nd, and I'm actually a double Gemini. And when you go through my universal stream, I am a Gemini male and female in so many aspects that it's mind-boggling how many aspects I am of polarity. My job and my mission is to learn how to integrate my avatar. Hi, Shelley. Learn how to integrate my avatar self, which is very challenging, right? And that's what we're all here to do. We're here to integrate different pieces of ourselves. This is part of what this is what the ascension is, right? Bringing these aspects of self into the now, into our realization. And my specific mission is very, very heavily built upon integrating polarity, understanding what the Merkaba is, understanding the gender fin spins, understanding what it is to embody, to be this androgynous being, and so being both female and male, male and female, and creating that sacred union, and really connecting in with the Christos Sophia. And with that comes a lot of challenge. I came in partially awake, so I have had the ability to see through things that I have a really great ability actually to see through movies that are made, shows that are made, understanding what the energy signature is behind text, videos, songs, people, those kinds of things. And so we've been mastering that. There have been a lot of really big shifts in the field that have to do with Mother, and gosh, they're so beautiful. And I want to share that I have had this amazing experience of understanding, and this is funny because, I always thought building, I actually had thought that, oh, I've built my wings, right? I can see wings, I see wings in other people. And what I'm not understanding is I actually am seeing, or what I wasn't being clear on for myself, is I'm actually seeing different multidimensional layers, because in other timelines or other frequencies, other dimensions, other harmonic universes, there's three dimensions in each harmonic universe, and there are 5 of those. So, and those are each strands of DNA, 12 strands of DNA in each dimensional aspect of self, harmonic of self. Did I get that right? So that's not important. We can talk about that another time. What's happening is when we're creating that hierogamic union, we are clearing the vertical channels, making that connection in our heart center, clearing these vertical channels, really feeling and understanding Mother. Mother has come into the earth to heal her children. She has been trapped for many, many years. And it just gets me so emotional because it's such a powerful shift to be making, and such a powerful thing to go through and overcome. And when we are building our wings and we're ready to build the wings, and this is something that I'm actually doing now, building my wings in this space now, in my physical body, in my body, who I am as I'm descending these aspects of self here. And I had this overwhelming experience that I wanted to share with everybody. I was doing a meditation. I was clearing the negative form, so negative aspects or shadow aspects of self in the parallels and in between time. And I had this awareness, something was shifting in my body, and I knew that, and I had been asking to bring in my 9th dimensional self, my Lyran aspect, and so having it be more in alignment and not just kind of off to the side, kind of off into the spheres, out into the atmosphere, but really just bring it in and work from this space. And as I was pulling myself in and clearing the negative forms, I felt this excruciating pain. It felt like somebody was taking a knife to my arteries, just behind my ear, like down my neck. And I knew that it was something called a crucifixion implant. It's something that we all have, something that we all will clear at some point, or have cleared at some point as we are ascending. And what's happened is that we were invaded and corrupted many, many years ago by the reptilians, the NAA, the Cabal, the Illuminati. It really doesn't matter what you want to call them. They're not Christic beings. They're not human. And they're able to infiltrate us and manipulate our blueprint. So they actually manipulate and copy. They make copies of humans, of us, and lay those through the planetary ley lines, is how I best understand it. And they're able to put in Metatronic reversals or reversal spins. And because we are mini maps of the Earth and the world, and then in turn the galaxy, the universe, our bodies, our physical bodies, are actual maps of this. So when they know how to manipulate that, they understand, they know more about us than we do, and that's extremely unfortunate. But the time is now, and we are learning, and this is a really great space, and this book is going to be really great for so many people to put pieces together. And it's the same story. We hear the same story from so many people over and over and over again, and there's an aspect of myself that I thought, oh, well, why would people want to hear my story, right? It's the same story you hear. It's the same story that we're all telling. And what comes through, and actually what I was told even by another author who, he and his wife are amazing authors, and they've written many, many books. And he said, you never know if you're the right person to deliver the message to the one reading it, right? So we all speak in different ways. We all speak at different times, and we're already at different times. And so the language that we each speak resonates at a frequency that activates other people at different times, within different dimensions, different timelines, and also can plant seeds for activation, awareness later in the future as well. So when the astral plane was manipulated and these things happen, one of the things that we go through, and this happens usually much later in ascension, but some people are kind of getting their energy fields ripped open and this is happening. But so I have this excruciating pain. I knew immediately that it was what's called a crucifixion implant, and you can go to Lisa Renee's Ascension Glossary to do some more research, and I do encourage you always to research your own, because you're going to have your own experience with what anybody shares with you, right? And so always researching and continuing to be a truth seeker. So I encourage you to do your own research, because you may read it different or see something different, and it can advance you in so many different ways. But so I had I started crying as I was going through. I was reading a new newsletter from ES Foundations. The new newsletter. Lisa Renee sends them out once a month, and this was talking about the plasma Sophianic energies, to put it just very, very simply. And I chose to read this before it was posted, before it was sent out. I chose to read it out loud, nice and slow, in a calm, steady tone. And it was my time, 3:33 a.m., 333. I don't know what the numbers mean, but it was 333. I was pulling in my 9th dimensional self. I don't know if those numbers have anything to do with anything. And I started sobbing uncontrollably, and I was in so much pain, and I knew that part of my galactic family was helping with this removal, aspects of my higher self and my family. It was massive, and I just barely opened my eyes, because my heart center started to open up, and my heart center opened up, and there was this little dark spot, and I thought, oh goodness, what is that? Maybe my eyes are adjusting. It just kept opening up bigger and bigger and bigger, and out just came this massive dark plume of smoke. I'm someone who clears myself pretty regularly, right? But so this is ongoing. We are always needing to clear ourselves, always commanding our space, always checking in on where we are, and all of these things, because it's so important as we're ascending and as we're growing and as we're learning to really stay on top of that. And it just opened up, cleared out. We were able to get a container set for transit, and so ever since then, so much has shifted for me, and that was just a few days ago. And it was a huge piece of negative ego that I was holding on to. And when negative ego is something that I teach about. It's also called, people call it the shadow self, or your past, or your lower consciousness. And so lots of different ways to explain what I'm talking about. But what has been coming up very strong is for me to share the message for you to remember who you are. Remember that you have a choice to be who you want to be. You have a choice to believe what you want to believe, to think what you want to think, and to feel how you want to feel. It's so important to understand that. So many of us are giving our power away. We're giving it away to the thoughts of our past, our hearts have been so wounded, for so many of us, our hearts have been so wounded that we are allowing that pain to lead our lives, right? And it makes me dealing with my own stuff and being able to share my experiences to help other people grow and learn has been a huge benefit in my healing process. And one of the things that we can do is remembering that we are not our past and that we don't ever have to be. We get to actually make conscious choices and conscious decisions on what we want to become, what we want our reality to be, and how that's going to look. One of the things I say, I have few teenage kids in the house currently, and one of the things that I say is, what other people think of you is none of your business. And when you allow somebody to hurt your feelings, that's your choice. When you allow somebody to rule your life and rule your memories, that's your choice. You have the choice to change that. You have the power and the capacity to change that. Paul Selig uses really simple terms. He uses the Word of God with the I am, or I am the Word. And so I have really been practicing this, and I've noticed that it's shifted my perception and my reality to multidimensional levels that I haven't experienced since I was a child. So my cellular memory has really come back online with a vengeance. But one of the things that you can do when you're clearing fear is you can word your way through it. You can say, I am word through, and then add whatever feeling it is. If it's anxiety, if it's stress, if it's anger, sadness, I am word through this sadness. I am word through this anxiety. Word, I am word. The list goes on. You can word your way through anything, and it does lift your frequency. So when we talk about we want to take something and put it on the altar of God, so many people hear putting it on the altar of God. Give it to God, put it on the altar. And so many people misinterpret this, and I can only share from my interpretation. I've been a frequency worker for many, many lifetimes. Actually, almost all of them, I've been some type of frequency worker. So I innately understand the mechanics. And so when we say put it on the altar for God, the altar is actually our consciousness. And so when we choose our thoughts to be of love, we are raising our consciousness. And when we work from the raised and elevated space of love, we can create anything. Love will come to us. Frequency follows the highest frequency, and the highest frequency is love. The lowest frequency is fear. And when we're in fear, we know that we're being controlled. It's not organic to humanity. It's not organic to humans. And I'm not free of that. I'm not saying that I'm free of that. And I do get set in consciousness traps. And this is why, keeping ourselves, keeping our home, keeping our bodies clean and clear, keeping our mind clean and clear, and commanding our space to be, our vessel to be single soul occupied. That's very important. These are all things we can talk about in other times. These are things that I help assist people with, understanding single soul occupancy, understanding how important it is to clear fear from our consciousness. When we're in fear, we know we're living from a controlled space, and B, from the lower levels of like the first harmonic, the lower densities, so the first, second, and third densities. And those densities, you may know if you're familiar with just your traditional 7 chakras, that would be, your first, second, and third chakra. So your root, your sacral, and your power chakra, still point. So, understanding that we get really caught up and swept away into the what ifs, the has-beens, the scarcity. We get scared of what's happened in the past. Will past repeat itself? Absolutely, past will repeat itself if you allow it to, right? If you allow it to, and that's the key. If you don't want the past to repeat itself, change it. And by changing it, that means you change your consciousness. You change your choices. You change and create who you want to be. You connect in, even if you don't know how to. I am connecting in with my higher self. I am connecting in with what is for my highest good in the now moment. You don't have to know all of the things that we are here, that we are sharing and teaching, because there's nothing special about us. There's nothing different about us. We are all divine beings, and we all have telepathic capabilities. We all have a conscious. We are all connected. When we're faced with challenges, when we're faced with fears, when old thought patterns, I can share, for myself, when an old thought pattern comes up and I feel like I'm going to be alone or forgotten, or I'm going to be in poverty or scarcity, I say, what is this thought process doing for me? How is it serving me? And why am I here? Sometimes it's an old thought that I haven't cleared out. Sometimes it's an old memory that's surfacing. And the faster we start to recognize this, the faster we learn how to clear ourselves and continue to shift and choose higher consciousness. There's we're going to be going right into some satanic holidays, and so there are different energy shifts that are going to be happening planetary, as if enough hasn't happened planetary. There's a lot of black magic going on. Black magic can feel it can make you feel nauseous. It can give you heart palpitations. It can create a disorientation. There's so many different things that can happen with that. It also opens the door to entity attachments, partial or full demonic possession. One of the things that I have always been able to see and understand are possessions. I've been able to see those. I've been able to see those since I was a child, and been able to remove demons from the energy field rather effectively. And it's not for the faint of heart, I'll tell you that. But thoughts create demonic houses. Thoughts create lower level entities to be able to create what's called a demonic house. When we have fear and we've not tore down those old structures to build new structures, we then create a space. So instead of building and creating the house of Christ or the houses of Christ in love from a Christic space, we then are in agreement with, whether we understand it or not, building demonic houses. 333 equals 9, a completion number. Thank you. The 9 represents the mouth of God, yes, in the back of the neck, the medulla oblongata. One of the things that I say, I love that you shared this, one of the things that I do often with clients and friends and with my children and my loved ones, I always am taking the parasympathetic, the sympathetic, and the vagus nerve, creating that sacred triad, and encouraging them, or if I have the permission, energetic permission, to bring their medulla oblongata sovereign, right? And that's a really big, important piece, opening up that space and keeping it protected. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was a very powerful message indeed. So, yeah. So overall, that's a little bit about. I wanted to give you a little bit of background about me, but the overall message is really taking control of your life, taking control of your own thoughts, and creating the life you want to live. Clear your fear, clear your negative ego, and create what you want. The time is now. It's never been easier. I promise you that. There are many of us that have just dug the trenches as we're paving the path, right? And that's all we're doing. We're just, knocking down the blackberry bushes first. No big deal, right? It's just as important as the rest of us that come together and create this consciousness shift. Create your reality. Create the life you want to live, because you get to choose. You get to choose your thoughts. You get to choose your emotions. You get to choose what dimensional vibration you want to work from and as. And that's kind of fun story. I have some Lemurian memories, and I believe it was the Lemurians, and somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, but from my cellular memory, I'm recalling that we could go from third dimensional reality to fifth dimension at will. And so I really believe that that is what is happening again. That's what I think these new vibrations are, these new constructs, and these plasma streams are really just giving us an opportunity to make higher choices. Choose love, choose God, choose understanding your body, your vehicle, that you are integrating. That polarity is what we're here to do. We're here to understand we're both male and female and integrate that to become the Christ itself, to heal the planet, to help heal. I know this term is so overused, but to heal our brothers and sisters, to heal our soul family, to heal our galactic family. And it's been an amazing journey and whirlwind. As we shift and change, so many people are all of a sudden remembering past lives. This is something, as we've been recycled, we don't really have the privilege or knowledge of remembering, and so many people are having some of these memories come forth, which is beautiful. Some people are seeing beings, or even UFOs, or understanding numbers better, or astrology better, or just life better, or understanding when we're having a conversation with someone. It's like you just have this knowing of, this person is bullshitting me. This isn't true, right? So I just thank you for listening. Like I said at the beginning, being on FaceTime stuff is challenging for me, and so I'm pushing through one of my fears and learning how to speak outside of small groups, as I will be doing so more often. So if you guys have any questions, I'm so happy to answer them. I love each of you for being here. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for sharing the 333 equals the 9 completion number. That just makes my heart sing. And I hope that you all become who you know you are,